We will be continuing with the lease agreement in this next section, and we'll talk a little bit about paying options. This little piece of paper in my hand is called a check. Maybe you already know what it is. Maybe you have no idea what a check is. This paper is what you will receive when you open up a bank account at a bank here in the States. But you need to open a checking account. If you were to open a savings account, you would not receive any checks. But if you open a checking account, you will receive a little book with a bunch of these papers. Now, what these papers allow you to do is it's a way that you can write to the owner, I am going to pay you this amount. Now, it's different than a credit card because you need to have this amount of money in your bank account. If you don't have it in your bank account and you try to pay with this, we would say that you bounced the check. To bounce a check means that you tried to pay for something without having enough money in your bank account. So we use the word bounce. You bounce a check. You bounce a ball. It's similar in meaning because it just means that the check was sent to the bank to pay, but it bounced back to you because you couldn't pay. And generally, your owner is going to fine you maybe $10, $15 for sending them a bounce check. So take a look at this next section and have fun learning more about a lease agreement.
Look at number 5. It says late charges and returned checks. So if you pay late, or if the check that you paid with didn't go through, you didn't have enough money actually in the bank to pay what you said you were paying, if that's returned, this is what happens. If rent is paid after the, you could say, 9th day, the 1st day of the month, there will be a late charge of however many dollars that you choose. So if my rent costs $725 a month, and I am supposed to pay by the 4th day of every month, but I miss it, I forget to pay, and I don't pay until the 6th day of the month, my owner may charge me, let's say, a $25 fee, a late fee, and then my bill for that month will be $750. If you write out a check and it does not go through, then you will be charged a late fee. Failure to pay. This is a very long statement. What they are talking about, remember before I said that when you are signing an agreement, that they will ask to do a background check and a credit check. They are doing a credit check to see if your financial statements come up to show that you are able to pay. If you have bad credit, a bad credit history, there may be something in your credit history saying that you were previously evicted, thrown out of an apartment because you did not pay on time, because you stopped paying, or because you broke a rental agreement. That will be on your history. It's just warning you. If you fail to pay, you will have something bad written in your credit history. Therefore, in the future, if you try to go rent a different apartment, it will be very difficult for you. No one will want to rent to you because they see that you are not a good tenant. You don't pay on time. Assignment and subletting. no portion, no part of the premises shall be sublet. Sublet, this means that you have the rental agreement with your landlord, but you begin to act as a landlord yourself, and you find somebody else to rent it from you. So maybe you are paying $700 a month, and you know that it's a very difficult area for people to find a place in, and you want to make some money. So you say, well, I'll move out for a few months to make some money, and I will sublet it to someone else for $800, and I will make $100 a month. This is illegal. You are not allowed to do this because it is written in the contract that you are not allowed to sublet. Condition of the premises. What is the condition at the beginning and throughout the time and at the end of the time that you rented the apartment? What does it look like? How was it kept? So the tenants agreed to properly use all the furniture, the appliances, everything in there. You're agreeing that you'll use it in a proper way. You won't jump on the furniture. You won't put unnecessary holes in the walls, things like this. You also agree to maintain. Remember, we talked about maintenance. Comes from the verb to maintain, to keep up the premises in a clean and sanitary condition, so that when you leave the place, it will look in the same condition as when you first took occupancy. When you first occupied the place, the first day you moved in, the place when you leave should look in the same condition. Smoke detectors. A smoke detector is an alarm. It detects, it can sense when there is smoke or fire. It is a warning alarm system so that your apartment will not burn down. It will not catch on fire. So there is requirement by law that in every house, in every apartment, there are so many of these smoke detectors. And you are responsible to keep them in working order. That means the batteries inside must be kept so that they are working. And then at the end, we have a summary of the entire or the whole agreement. So it's just giving a few closing statements, saying, again, this is who we're agreeing between the tenant and the landlord, and that it's signed by all the parties. All the people involved are going to sign it. Here's the landlord's signature and the address, and the tenant's signature. However many tenants there are, each one would need to sign the lease agreement.
We just signed our lease agreement. Woohoo! We can have a party now. Not the party from the contract, but the actual party where you invite people over your house. Maybe you have cake, a few drinks, you have fun. But if you're going to have a party in your new apartment, make sure that you have your batteries and your smoke detector, and you don't destroy the conditions of the apartment. Because if you remember from the contract, you need to keep the conditions right, clean. And if anything does break, make sure you give your landlord a call, because they generally want to know right away if they need to make any repairs.